Hi, welcome to Blade and Brush, everyone. I'm Mike, your wet shaver, back with another video. And yes, it is Monday, and I am back because my aunt went to the office today. And as you can see, I am actually trying out a new soap that I have not used on the channel before. Although I did break it in yesterday, so it's not entirely new. But someone had gotten me this off my wish list, which was a rather pleasant surprise. I got it on Saturday in the mail. So yeah, this is called Friends to the End by Stirling Soap Company, which is supposed to be an homage to Baccarat Rouge 540, which is supposed to be very popular in the Philippines, apparently. Yeah, a whole story behind that. But yeah, if you're ever in the Philippines and you want to impress your date, yeah, that's something you can get, but you are going to pay in the triple-digit figures, like mid-triple digits, just for a bottle. So apparently Stirling Soap Company decided, yeah, we want to reproduce a scent because we're not paying like $500, $600 for a bottle of cologne. No. So we're going to recreate it for a scent profile, and they dedicated it to their dogs that are no longer with them because they passed over the Rainbow Bridge. So yeah, anyway, that is the soap that we're using today. Yeah, you can see I'm actually dressed. I'm not right out of the shower. I had a telehealth appointment that I had to get ready for in a hurry because I woke up late and had breakfast late. So I'm going to warm up my face. Yeah. So yeah, just kind of soften the bristles again. Yeah, there's no companion pre-shave oil with this. Some soaps do not come with one. And this is among them, so yeah. Kind of a bummer, but you know, hey, they've got to go ahead and go with what is going to sell. But yeah, the scent profile on this is very interesting. The top notes are floral with a middle note of amber, and then the bottom notes are like cedar. At least from what I remember of the description. Please inform me if I am wrong. Oops, forgot to empty out my brush. Scuttle. The inner bowl, anyway. Yeah, I was soaking my brush. Yeah, I'm using the Stirling Boar brush today. And so this is a beef tallow soap. Yeah, some Stirling soaps are sheep tallow or mutton tallow. And I absolutely adore those, but this one is beef tallow. Yeah, the scent profile on this is just amazing. And for me anyway, it ended up lasting a good long while after the shave, because I got the aftershave and post-shave balm along with the soap as part of this wish list purchase that my benefactor gave to me. Decided to be anonymous. Well, thank you, whoever you are, but yeah, I do thank you. So this is going to be quite a shave because I'm using my Mühle R89. Finally, after having it for a while and using my R41 on the channel previously, because I had just used the Edwin Jagger for a while until the blade basically went a couple weeks or so. I probably could have gone longer with that. It is a feather blade, because they do have a well-earned reputation for lasting a good long while. But I try not to use a blade beyond 2 weeks, because even if it doesn't pull and tug, the irritation factor will start to go up after every shave. And generally speaking, most blades will last about maybe 5 or anywhere between 4 and 6 shaves before needing to be replaced because of pulling and tugging. But there are some blade brands, like say Astra Superior Platinum or Feather or Kai, where you can use them for quite a while after that. All right, so let's apply that. Yeah, I can see my shoulder brace that I'm wearing from a rotator cuff. So I think I told you on my previous video I'm dealing with that. Sorry, I had to bend over and wipe up some lather that got on the floor. All right, so yeah, here's the Mühle R89. As you can see, visually it is quite similar to the Edwin Jagger DE86 with the black handle. But whereas the Jagger had a rubber handle, this one is just coated in whatever. It's actually not, I mean, it's deceptively smooth, I want to say, because it looks textured, but it's really kind of smooth. I mean, it still has decent enough grip, but you don't want to take it into the shower. So it is a 3-piece razor. I'm using the Mühle blade that came with my R41. It is a company out of Germany. And the cap and base plate is basically the same as on the Edwin Jagger DE86. Yeah, this is a really awesome set profile. If it's anything like the original Baccarat Rouge 540, I can see why they charge so much, but as I do not have that kind of money to plop down, yeah, this is the next best thing. But if you do have the money to plop down on it, and you're looking to impress the ladies, and yeah, something like this you might want to go for. But if not, like I said, this is the next best thing. And unlike Baccarat Rouge 540, this is actually affordable. It's actually a song by Queen called Friends to the End, which, if I remember correctly, was on their A Kind of Magic album. And a number of songs on that album were used for the film Highlander, which came out in 1986. Can you believe it? 40 years of Highlander. Christopher Lambert and Clancy Brown are both 67-ish. An interesting story behind that one. Clancy Brown was doing like some kind of Zoom interview with a YouTube podcaster where he basically said, he made no money off of that. Like Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery made their money. Gregory Wyden, who wrote the original screenplay, made a couple $1 million on it because it was originally a film school project that Wyden had done after, I guess, going to a museum and seeing a display where he wondered, like, what if the guy who wore that suit of armor, was alive today? What if he had, lived and been immortal? And things went from there. And the film didn't do all that well at the box office, but it did gain cult following. So it ended up spawning sequels and a TV show starring Adrian Paul. But yeah, once Wyden had sold his screenplay, I guess the nature of his contract, he got a bigger paycheck if the movie got picked up and got a major name attached. So anyway, Peter Davis and Bill Panzer, who were the producers on the film, picked up the script. They liked it. They managed to get Christopher Lambert to agree to it, which drove up the price because he was the it thing in Hollywood back then. He was born in America, but raised in Switzerland and France. In fact, he had done a number of films for like Luc Besson back in the day. And then he was also in Grace Stoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, which I think was a Merchant Ivy production. So he was the hot thing of that decade. And then Sean Connery got attached, and that drove the price up even further. So pretty much everyone got paid from that, except Clancy Brown. I think he worked for Scale or something. He was really the only lead actor out of that whole cast who wasn't a big name actor. He had just done The Bride with Sting, where he played the monster, and he'd been under a lot of heavy makeup. But he wasn't really all that well known, so he didn't do the movie for free, obviously, but he didn't make any real money compared to Lambert and Connery. Both of whom appeared in the infamous direct sequel, Highlander 2: The Quickening, which, for some inexplicable reason, had an entire train wreck of circumstances go wrong. I mean, besides making the movie in the first place, they tried to explain the origin of the Immortals, which, you really didn't need to do. But then I think they were shooting on location in, I think, South America, where supposedly shooting costs were low, but then I guess there was some kind of inflation crisis or whatever, so the project suffered from a number of problems, and then the studio took over, got Final Cut. And even though Russell McKay was eventually, years later, able to get his own cut of the movie, but there just was no salvaging it. It was horrible. Nevertheless, it had a rockin' soundtrack. And it kept interest alive long enough for the TV show starring Adrian Paul to debut in 1992. And that went on for like 5.5 seasons. And then a couple of movies after that, although one of them was on the Sci-Fi channel, which used to be called the Sci-Fi channel, but then the network sold out and became the Sci-Fi channel because it decided, oh yeah, we're going to get a clever, stupid respelling of sci-fi, and oh yeah, we're not going to show actual science fiction programming on there anymore. And it was one of those sequels that was so universally loathed that now they just pretend that it was all a bad dream, just like Highlander 2. But now they're doing a Highlander reboot with Henry Cavill and David Bautista as Connor McLeod and the Kurgan, respectively. I forget who's playing Ramirez. But from what I've seen of the story, through plot leaks and whatnot, I think it's going to be a whole big mess. So you don't actually need to reboot Highlander. There's no need. But to get back to the original point of this video, after your two best friends and are no longer with you. Yeah, that's rather poignant. I can relate. My dad used to be a dog breeder when I was a kid. In fact, he was active in his local kennel club. And I remember going to dog shows where he used to serve as a judge. And those were always pleasant. Although one year I had quite the adventure because the grounds that we went to had this fishing pond that also had a rabbit hutch over there that had long since been abandoned and fallen into disrepair. When I was walking what I thought was a safe distance from the kids who were fishing, and it turns out, no, I wasn't. So fish hook got caught in my scalp, and I had to go to the emergency room to get it removed. You imagine walking along and say, ah. It's more surprising than painful, but yeah. I did have to get my tetanus shot and everything else. Along with a couple of dissolving stitches, but oh well. But it was quite the story, you know. Just tell it to the kids once they're old enough. Of course, I truly have to have kids of my own. But once my fiance and I are married, you know, then those will come into the picture. Right here. Yeah, this spot usually is pretty rough, no matter what I do. Yeah, if you've used the Atwin Jagger DE86, then basically you've used the Mühle R89, because they're basically the same razor. Just this one has a slightly heavier handle. I do believe it's brass, and then plated in chrome, and then it has that coating on the handle, which again makes it look deceptively textured. because it's really quite smooth, but then it's not chromed, so I don't know, because it is matte, so you get a bit better grip than you otherwise would if it were an entirely chrome handle. And there is a chrome option. Oh yeah, I'm getting quite a bit of irritation today with the witch hazel and alum, so I'm not entirely confident that the aftershave won't burn on my skin. But yeah, that's well, we'll see. Probably because I shaved after a while out of the shower. Yeah, this is a companion aftershave splash, glacial menthol. I love my glacial menthol. A lot of guys can't handle it. I can. And even yesterday was kicking in rather a bit. So. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. Definitely getting that sting. Now the menthol is starting to kick in. While that's doing its job, emptying out my bowl and cleaning out my brush. Yeah, this soap is a tribute to Baccarat Rouge 540. It's probably not exactly the same because obviously Stirling Soap Company is still a small business. They don't want to get sued, so they can't use an identical scent. But it's close enough probably that you could get away with it. Alright, so that's been a minute, so let's go ahead and try the companion aftershave balm, which by the way is excellent. If you've ever used Stirling soap products, their post-shave balms are quite good. And I got a little bit too much here, so I'm going to unscrew the cap and put some of that back. I don't need quite that much. Yeah, the weather's nice today, so I'm going to see about cooking up some burgers on the grill. All right. Wow, that was invigorating. All right, so again, today, Friends to the End by Stirling Soap Company, tribute to Baccarat Rouge 540. And then the Mühle R89 with a black handle. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, so links will be in the description below. Please be sure to do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a video. Until next time, this is Mike for Blade and Brush, signing off.